Hello gang. Well, we're just wrapping up another week here, and so I wanted to talk through this one and see what you're into for this one. So this trip really quick out. Just came out on a Friday after worked Saturday, worked a lot on Saturday, and then we got up Sunday, watched a little church, headed home. But our major efforts are this week, we're working in a concentrated zone. So Dawn and I kind of worked in one zone where we want to do some whale watching and stuff that we want to clear out next here. Did some filming of that, not a whole lot of filming, but enough to help you kind of see what we're doing. Because I know some of that filming can kind of get redundant because it's hard to see what we're doing. But we figured out where we want kind of like where we want our vegetation layer to start. Again, we don't want to rip it all the way down to raw dirt, but we figured all that out. Let's show you what we got done here. Take a look. All right, quick update. You saw me with the excavator trying to clear that up back there. Wow, that is rooty. It's pretty intense. I don't know if I'll be able to get the excavator that much further back, but we did get a little temporary fire pit here so we can keep on burning and keep things going. I have a little windbreak right there. We don't want anything any bigger than that. So we'll show you some other stuff here, but Dawn's gonna get a fire going so we can get all that other stuff burnt. And then we'll start our efforts today. All right, guys, let's do a quick little before here. I just cut out a route there, but Dawn's gonna work on this section right here. I'll take you back to where I'm going. Look at that, I got no chin. I got my my earmuffs on, hearing protection. But I am gonna work out here. I'll show you. So all of this I want to get cleaned up and ready for Dawn to come in. I found, I have to turn the camera on. I found a pretty cool piece of wood over on our property that's flat that I think I can make a cool whale watching bench right here. But essentially, all of this needs to come out in order for me to get it here. So that's what I'm going to work on. We'll show you how it goes. All right, guys, so let's talk about what we got done here. So it's so hard to see, and right now we're trying to figure out the proper balance of what we're doing in this great detail compared to leaving a green space. And so I'll talk through that. So first off, Don worked up in this front section and I was on that back section back there, as you can see, kind of working our way inward this way. We just have a little meaty part here, which I'll talk through here. So we've Don's cleared all this out here. So all of this, she's cleared. And then came over here, right here. Now what we have noticed here is I need to cut out this big root that's all dead here. But this will be an amazing hammock spot right here. All right, you have that view. But what we want to try to figure out is we don't want this to be a walking path, right? We have young kids and it gets pretty steep right there and somewhat soft, and this is the steeper part of our bank. So I think we're going to do like a little split rail fence coming off here and coming to this portion here, probably like the centerpiece here, and then a little anchor point down there. So just maybe like a three section split rail that will use material here. In fact, I saw a couple dead spruce that still have their bark on them that are pretty straight, that might be good for this. So that's the thought process here. And then that'll kind of keep this as a zone for all the stuff that we're trying to do, like, you know, seating, maybe tent spot. In fact, I think we're going to bring the truck out here next time. Then we're trying to decide, well, where do our walkways go? And so what we've decided is that this is really our walkway, right? So we want to isolate to there, but this will become our walkway, which we've used before. We've cleaned up quite a bit. And this is where I've been working, back on this back section. So next trip we're going to be working here. This is the middle section that we haven't been working. We had a bunch of stacked dead from back there from last season. So I hauled all that out, got that all burned. But all this comes out here, this big old root. Big nice tree here. Also would make another good hammock spot between this one and that one, potentially, or even this one and that one. Pretty neat. But this would be a nice flat zone. We'll clean this up, but we're going to start leaving the vegetation. We're not going to go as detailed as Dawn has, because we want to keep this allow. So we'll take out some of the evergreen huckleberries. We'll take this down, take out the huckleberries, but we're not going to take it all away, right? And then we'll start cleaning out this big chunky stuff. Eventually this will be a really nice even walking path. I have a huge, and this is where I was working, so this was all overgrown, and I didn't take a lot of video of it, but I have a 360 that I'll try to get a zone in here that sees that. But I cleared this all out. There's a bunch of stacked material here, and now it's all out. You can see viewpoints, and you can see that if we take out that center section there, that this will just be like all these sight lines will be there. And here's where we just have to be more tactical, right? We're going to leave a lot of this salal in here, just like we have it, but we'll take out the huckleberry. Some of the dead that's in here, we'll take that out. Like eventually, see that big stump right there? We'll take that out. That'll allow for a nice walking path to what I hope is a future whale watching spot. So this is where I started yesterday, and you can see all that stuff that got cut out. All cut out now. And this should allow, once this is cleaned up more, for an amazing whale watching spot looking down that direction and down that direction. Just beautiful. And then you can see back here, this is where that old growth was, that if I clear out that stump, that log I was just talking about, I could probably have a nice walkway that comes down and circles into here. So those are kind of like the thought process. This is like, how do we keep this green and not, but also kind of get all the blow down, all the stuff that was been on the ground, the forest ground out, the big stuff, and allow the green stuff to stay. So we'll see how it progresses, but that's our plan for now. So yeah, that was basically our entire week, focusing on that, right? It's or weekend, right? Focusing on that. We're hopefully back out next weekend. There's a lot going on in our lives. So when we talk about the blessing in this one, the blessing is that there's a lot going on, a lot of unknowns, a lot of potential things that could change, you know, kind of the direction of our life. And we're just trusting God right now in that. And I'm not trying to be cryptic. It's nothing health-wise. It's just a lot of things are unknown right now. And so there's a transition period coming up that I'm going to be kind of in at work. And I don't know what that quite means. And so the blessing for this is we have this to come to. Whenever I feel a little bit stressed out, like, what is going on now? I'm reminded how much God loves us by just looking at this. So gang, until next time, I hope we see you on the trail, and let's just take a look at that view. You see Dawn out there? Yeah, until next time gang, I hope we see you on the trail.